frozen bay. The dawn revealed another day. The mountain stood in silent rows, guarding valleys filled with snow. The sea reflected silver light beneath the wings of ravens' flight. The north awoke with ancient pride as warriors gathered side by side. Stirred before sunrise, determined hearts and watchful eyes. The blacksmith's hammer rang once more, preparing steel for future war. Strong hands tightened every strap, no warrior feared the coming clash. The drums began their steady beat, like thunder rolling through the street. The longships waited by the shore, dragon heads carved for ancient war. The sails were raised against the wind, a new adventure would begin. The waves embraced the wooden frame, while every warrior spoke his name, to honor fathers gone before, who sailed these waters into war. Days passed beneath the northern sky, where storm clouds drifted rolling by. The ocean tested every man, yet stronger grew the battle clan. No hardship could divide their will, their hearts remained united still. The endless sea became a road toward lands where future glory flowed. At last a distant coast appeared, a place the younger men had feared. Yet older warriors simply smiled, for battle made the strongest child. The shields were lifted toward the sun, the march to destiny begun. Each footstep echoed loud and clear, a message none would fail to hear. When steel collided late that day, the earth itself seemed swept away. Axes flashed like bolts of light within the chaos of the fight. The shield wall moved as one great beast that never slowed and never ceased, until the final enemy had vanished toward the distant sea. That night beside victorious fires, they sang of warriors they admired. The stars shone bright above the land, like blessings from a mighty hand. And every voice rose strong and free across the hills and open sea. A song that time would never end, northern hearts that never bend. Across the hills hills the cold wind raised, through valleys vast and mountain space. The riders gathered near the plain, awaiting orders to remain, or charge beyond the distant ridge, across the river and the bridge, where enemies prepare to stand against the strength of the Northland. The horses stamped upon the ground, impatient at the battle sound. Their breath rose white within the air, like spirits dancing everywhere. The riders checked both shield and spear, without a trace of doubt or fear, ready to ride through storm and flame in service of their clan and name. The signal came with horn and drum, a sound announcing what would come. The riders surged across the field of force, no army wished to wield. The earth itself began to shake beneath the charge they chose to make, as thunder rolled beneath their feet toward foes they soon would meet. The enemy attempted to stand against the power of the band, yet wave after wave of riders came, driven by honor more than fame. The banners streamed behind the charge like ships beneath the tempest large, and every warrior fought as one until the battle had been won. The afternoon grew calm and still above the valley and the hill. The enemy had disappeared. The victory all warriors cheered. The riders gathered once again among the bravest northern men, their horses resting by the stream as sunlight made the waters gleam. The chieftain praised their steadfast hearts, and how each warrior played his part. For no great victory is won by strength of only anyone. Together they had changed the day and driven every threat away. Through unity and courage strong, the virtues praised in every song. That night beneath the moonlit sky, their campfires flickered low and high. The riders of the northern wind would ride again when called again, their legend spreading far and wide across the mountains with pride. A tale that future years would sing, of warriors serving their king. silver mist. A day no warrior could resist. The raven banner touched the sky, while northern winds rushed swiftly by. The mountains echoed distant drums, announcing what the day becomes. Another chapter yet unwritten, another challenge yet unbitten. The longhouse door swung open wide as warriors stepped out with pride. The smell of pine and ocean air reminded all what they must bear. Their homeland stood behind their backs, ahead awaited shield and axe, and every heart beat strong and true for brothers standing in the view. The march began through forest lands, with the weapons firm within their hands. Sunlight danced across the leaves like golden threads among the trees. The rivers flowed beside their way, witnessing the coming day. The earth itself seemed proud to know where northern sons would choose to go. By midday they reached open ground, where enemy banners could be found. Their countless ranks stretched far and wide across the hills on every side. Yet still the Viking showed no fear, for every brother stood near, and courage stronger than the stone made every warrior more than one. Like thunder rolling before rain, the shield wall moved with measured pace, determination on each face. Axes rose and swiftly fell, while horns resounded like a spell of strength and honor forged in fire, driven by an endless desire. The enemy line began to break beneath the force they could not shake. The raven banner surged ahead above the living and the dead. The northern warriors pressed their claim, adding glory to their name, until the field belonged to them and victory crowned every man. Crackling flame, the skulls immortalized each name. The stars appeared above the sea, guardians of memory, and every voice joined in the song of hearts that had remained so strong. A tale to travel through the years, beyond all doubts and beyond all fears. The morning fog embraced the earth, a silent witness to our worth. The mountains watched from far away as warriors prepared that day. No sound was heard except the wind and thoughts of battles yet to begin. The world seemed frozen in its place, awaiting courage face to face. Each shield was painted with great care, each symbol carried stories there of fathers brave and mothers strong, of battles sung in ancient song. The weight of history filled the air, a burden every man would bear, yet none would ever turn away from duty on that fateful day. The enemy appeared at noon beneath the pale and distant moon. Their banners stretched across the plain like dark clouds promising the rain. Still every Viking held his ground without a single fearful sound. Their courage stronger than the stone upon the cliffs where they had grown. Then came the order loud and clear, the words each warrior longed to hear. The shield wall moved across the field, an iron force that would not yield. Spears pointed forward toward the sky as thousands raised a mighty cry. The sound rolled over hill and tree like thunder rushing from the sea. The clash arrived with fearsome force, yet none would alter from his course. The wall remained both firm and wide, with loyal brothers at each side. Should one man stumble in the fight, another stepped into the light. The strength of many forged as one beneath the ever-burning sun. Hours passed beneath the roar of steel and courage, war and more. The battlefield became a sea of endless human energy. Still forward pressed the northern line, refusing any grand design except to stand and never fall, no matter what the cost to all. At last the enemy withdrew, their broken ranks split into two. The northern banners filled the breeze, triumphant among hills and trees. The warriors stood beneath the sky and watched the fading daylight die. Another tale for skalds to sing, another victory to bring. The years may pass, the ages change, the world may wander wide and strange, yet legends born upon that field will never bow and never yield. For honor lives where courage stands, within the hearts of northern lands, and every song the future sings will praise those iron shield wall kings. The first light touched the mountain peaks, peaks and painted gold across the creeks. The forest stirred beneath the breeze. The sea rolled calmly toward the seas. Another day had come at last, another chance to build the past through deeds remembered long after, in songs of battle and of laughter. The warriors gathered near the hall, responding to the chieftain's call. Their shields reflected morning light, their eyes were fixed upon the fight. Each carried stories yet untold, of courage greater than gold, and dreams that stretched beyond the years, beyond all limits and all fears. Across the valleys they would ride, with loyal brothers at their side. The roads wound through the northern land, like rivers drawn by nature's hand. The mountains watched from far above, witnessing strength, witnessing love, between the warriors who stood united by a common good. By evening they reached open plains, where silence ruled the vast domains. The enemy appeared ahead, a countless host to fill with dread. Yet none among the northern ranks considered turning from their thanks to fate for giving them a chance to meet their destiny in advance. The war cry rose into the sky, so powerful it seemed to fly across the hills and over stone, like thunder from the gods alone. The enemy could hear it ring, a sound both terrible and kingly, a declaration fierce and clear, that northern warriors now were here. The battle raged from dawn to dusk, through shattered shield and broken husk. Yet still the Vikings pressed ahead, where only courage dared to tread. Their unity became their blade, a strength that never seemed to fade. And slowly victory drew near, with every charge and every spear. Long after silence claimed the field, and every weapon had been sheathed, the warriors stood beneath the stars, beyond the reach of earthly scars. Their voices joined in one great song, a sound both ancient and strong, an echo destined never to die, the eternal war cry of the sky.
frozen wind swept through the land, across the mountains tall and grand. The forest bowed beneath the snow, as warriors prepared to go. The world seemed silent, vast and old, a place where mighty deeds unfold. And every step toward destiny would shape their future endlessly. The sky was painted shades of gray, yet none were troubled by the day. For storms had always been their friend, a challenge meant to strengthen men. The northern spirit filled each soul and made the broken spirit whole. Like iron forged beneath great heat, made stronger through repeated beats. Departed with the tide, its dragon heads a source of pride. The sea stretched endlessly ahead, toward lands where legends often tread. Each wave became a test of will, yet every heart remained strong still. The stars above became their guide throughout the dark and restless tide. They reached a distant shore, a place untouched by northern war. The valleys rolled beneath the sun, where soon great deeds would all be done. The warriors marched through field and wood, as only fearless warriors could. Their banners flowing in the breeze, like mighty ships upon the sea. Across a vast and grassy lawn, their armor glittered in the light, prepared to challenge them in fight. Yet every Viking knew his place and stood with calm upon his face. For discipline and courage both were strengthened by the warrior oath. The clash erupted fierce and loud, beneath a sky concealed by a cloud. The ground trembled beneath the strain of countless men upon the plain. Still onward drove the northern force, committed fully to its course, until resistance finally ceased and victory was theirs at least. As darkness settled over all, they gathered in a mighty hall. Their laughter filled the wooden beams, along with stories, songs, and dreams. And every warrior raised a cup to honor those who lifted up Snow-covered valleys far and wide, as warriors gathered side by side. The winter wind cut sharp and cold, yet every heart remained bold. The mountains stood like giants still, watching over every hill. The north prepared for one more stand to defend its sacred land. The elders spoke beside the flame, recalling every hero's name. Their voices carried through the hall, where shadows danced upon the wall. Young warriors listened carefully, learning what they soon might be. The years of legends carved in stone, who never faced the storm alone. At dawn the gates were opened wide, the army moved with steady stride. Spears glittered underneath the sky, while ravens circled high above. The drums resounded through the snow like distant thunder far below, a sound that stirred both heart and soul, and bound the many to one goal. The enemy approached in force, confident within their course. Their banners darkened half the plain like storm clouds promising the rain. Yet still the Vikings held their line, strong as cliffs shaped over time. No warrior lowered shield or head, no warrior feared the road ahead. The clash arrived with mighty sound, echoing across the frozen ground. Steel struck steel with furious might as day was swallowed by the fight. The shield wall bent but never broke amid the dust and battle smoke. For every man who chose to stand was strengthened by his brother's hand. Hours passed before the tide would turn, as victory began to burn. The enemy ranks slowly fell, driven back by northern will. The warriors pushed with all their strength across the final desperate length, until the battlefield grew still, and silence settled on the hill. The stars emerged above the snow, shining on the world below. The warriors gathered one last time, their triumph marked in song and rhyme. And though the years would pass away, the memory of that glorious day would live wherever tales are told of northern hearts forever. Silent in the dawn,
As mist rolled gently across the lawn, the mountains mirrored in the bay awaited yet another day, a day when warriors once again would test the strength of mortal men and prove beneath the northern sky that courage never truly dies. Within the hall the fires burn bright, holding back the fading night. Old stories echoed through the room of heroes standing against doom. Young warriors listened with respect to every lesson and every effect, for one day they would lead the way when their own legends filled the day. Blacksmith worked beside the flame, forging steel worthy of a name. Each hammer strike rang loud and clear, a sound respected far and near. The blades emerged both sharp and strong, prepared to serve for seasons long. And every warrior knew their worth would soon be tested on the earth. The call to march spread through the land and quickly gathered every band. The roads were filled with shield and spear, with hearts untouched by doubt or fear. The banners waved against the sky as ravens circled high above. The north itself seemed proud to see its sons united faithfully. Assembled near, a force intended to bring fear. Yet every Viking stood unmoved by threats already long disproved. Their formation held the line like ancient walls untouched by time, a living fortress built from trust and forged within the northern dust. When battle swept across the plain, the clash resembled a hurricane. Axes flashed and shields collided, while neither side could easily be guided. The struggle lasted through the day until resistance gave away, and victory crowned the steadfast few who fought for all they ever knew. The warriors gathered with the rest. Their songs rose strong into the night, beneath the moon's pale silver light. And every tale that scouts would keep would travel far across the deep, ensuring future years would hear of the sons of the iron fjord so dear. It carried fate and destiny. Our dragon ships cut through the foam, far from the northern cliffs of home. The waves rose high against the bow, yet onward still we chose to go. For glory called beyond the tide, and every warrior stood with pride. The morning came in shades of grey, a distant shoreline marked our way. The mountains towered cold and vast, like ancient guardians from the past. Our banners danced within the gale, our courage never once grew pale. The sound of horns filled earth and sky, a call no warrior could deny. Watched us as we passed, the shadows long, their silence vast. Among the pines the ravens flew, as if they knew what we would do. Each footstep echoed through the land, each axe was steady in the hand. No fear could find a place to stay inside the hearts that marched that day. Gathered on the plain, their shields aligned in mighty chains. Their numbers stretched from hill to hill, yet our resolve was stronger still. We raised our voices toward the sky and let our battle thunder fly. The earth itself began to shake as thousands moved for honor's sake. Arrived with iron sound, steel and courage all around. The shield wall held against the storm, our brothers stood in perfect form. No warrior yielded in the fight, no warrior vanished from the sight. Together we became one flame, united by a single name. The world in gold, the tale of victory was told. The battlefield grew calm at last, another challenge now had passed. We lifted cups beside the fire and sang the songs our fathers admired. The stars appeared above the night and blessed our triumph with their light. One day our bones will rest below beneath the earth and winter snow. Yet stories never truly die, they ride forever through the sky. The halls of Valhalla wait above for warriors bound by strength and love, and there our voices still shall ring, while endless northern echoes sing. The moon was fading from the sky as morning clouds drifted by.
The mountains stood in silent rows, covered deep in winter snow. The north awakened cold and grand, a kingdom shaped by sea and land, where every warrior learned to stand among the strongest in the land. The horns resounded through the vale, carried far upon the gale. The call was heard from hill and shore, summoning men to war once more. From distant farms and frozen bays, they came without a hint of delay, united by a common cause and loyal to the ancient laws. The banners moved against the sky like great birds soaring high. Each symbol told a story old of fearless deeds and hearts of gold. The warriors marched through forest shade, a long forgotten path once made by ancestors whose names remained in every song that still was sung. The enemy waited near a ridge, guarding valley, road and bridge. Their armor glittered in the light, prepared for one decisive fight. Yet calm remained among the ranks as warriors tightened leather straps and raised their shields in silent trust before advancing through the dust. The clash erupted fierce and loud beneath a sky concealed by cloud. Axes struck and spears flew fast, each moment stronger than the last. The frostbound legion held its line like ancient cliffs, resisting time, and slowly forced the enemy back with discipline. They did not lag. As sunlight touched the distant snow, the battlefield grew still at last. Another trial now had passed. The warrior stood in quiet pride, with loyal brothers at their side, knowing the North would sing their names beside 1,000 other flames. That night beneath the stars above, they celebrated strength and love for homeland, kin and honor's way. The values guiding every day, their laughter echoed through the hall, while shadows danced along the wall. And every song that filled the air spoke of courage beyond compare. The northern sky was dark and vast, as a winter wind swept quickly past. The sea below roared wild and free against the cliffs relentlessly. Yet in the hall the fires burned bright, preparing warriors for the night, when notes would bind both young and old to seek new glory yet untold. The chieftain stood before the flame and called each warrior by name. His voice was steady, deep and clear, a sound that every man could hear. He spoke of honor and of trust, of steel, of courage, and of dust, that waits for all beneath the sky, but never for the coward's cry. The warriors raised their drinking as dawn approached with crimson morn. Together they swore hand in hand to guard their kin and native land. No storm would break the oath they made, no enemy would make it fade. The promise echoed through the hall and settled deep within them all. The fleet departed with first light, its sails stretched wide against the bright and restless sky above the sea that called them toward destiny. The waves crashed hard against the bow, yet none would ever turn below, for every heart was set ahead toward glory where brave men would tread. Still the Vikings held their ground, without a trace of fear being found. The shield wall formed from end to end, a living fortress that would defend. The honor the northern shore, and all they cherished evermore. The battle roared from noon till night. Oh, beneath the fading golden light. Oh, axes flashed and banners flew. Oh, while warriors proved their courage true. Oh, at last the enemy line gave way, unable longer there to stay, and victory crowned the northern band who stood triumphant on the land. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. That evening songs filled every room, driving away the weight of gloom. The Storm King's oath remained alive within the hearts that would survive, and every generation still would remember that iron will that carried northern warriors far beneath the everlasting stars.
A bitter wind swept through the bay as dawn revealed a colder day. The cliffs stood silent by the sea, watching over history. The longships waited near the shore, ready for battle and much more. Their dragon heads faced eastward still, prepared to follow destiny's will. The warriors gathered one by one before the rising of the sun. Their armor gleamed with morning frost, each knowing well the coming cost. Yet no man spoke of fear or doubt, for courage drove uncertainty out. The North had shaped their hearts from youth with strength and discipline and truth. The fleet moved swiftly through the mist toward horizons none could resist. The ocean rolled beneath the keel of force, both powerful and real. The seabirds followed from above like spirits sent by those they loved, guiding them through wind and rain across the vast and endless main. Days later, distant shores appeared, the kind that weaker men had feared. Dense forests lined the rugged coast, guarding kingdoms proud to boast. The warriors landed side by side, with shields raised high in northern pride, and marched beneath the towering sky, prepared to conquer or to die. Determined that they would be the last to stand against against the northern tide that now surged forward far and wide. The drums began their steady roar, a sound of battle and of war, and every heartbeat matched the sound that echoed fiercely all around. Steel flashed bright beneath the sun as mighty deeds were swiftly done. The shield wall pushed through every line with discipline almost divine. The enemy ranks began to fall, unable to withstand it all, and soon the battlefield was won before the setting of the sun. The sea wind carried songs that night across the dark beneath starlight. Songs of warriors brave and free, who mastered both the land and sea. And every tale would long endure, because their courage had been pure. A legacy no age could bend, until the very world's end. The dragon ship lay by the shore, awaiting winds and waiting for more. Its carved head faced the open sea, a symbol of strength and destiny. The waves whispered against the keel, like ancient voices made of steel, calling warriors from the land to take their place and make a stand. The harbor bustled before dawn, long before the stars were gone. Armor fastened, weapons checked, every warrior stood erect. The smell of salt filled the air, mixed with courage everywhere, and every heartbeat seemed to say that glory waited far away. The sails rose proudly to the sky as seabirds wheeled and drifted by. The fleet departed through the mist toward lands no warrior could resist. The ocean stretched both dark and wide, yet confidence stood at their side. For northern men had crossed before 1,000 seas and 1,000 shores. The journey tested every soul, but hardship only served its role to sharpen minds and strengthen hands for challenges in distant lands. Storms arrived with mighty cries, black clouds covering the skies, yet still the fleet pressed ever on until the worst of it was gone. Appeared beneath the sun, a place where destiny would run. warriors landed on the sand and marched together through the land. No hesitation marked their pace, only resolve upon each face. The moment long awaited came to add new honor to their name. The clash of armies shook the earth as warriors proved their worth. The shield wall surged with steady might, advancing through the fiercest fight. No obstacle could halt their way, no fear could make them disobey the oath that every warrior swore to stand united evermore. When victory settled on the field, the enemy was forced to yield. The dragon banner rose on high beneath the vast victorious sky, and songs were born that very night to celebrate the glorious fight. Songs that still would travel far, like northern winds beneath the stars. Familiar shores, beyond old kingdoms and old wars, the Vikings sailed through unknown seas, driven by restless destinies. The horizon stretched forever on, beneath the pale and distant dawn, calling brave hearts to explore what waited on another shore. The ocean rolled both fast and deep, while stars stood watch instead of sleep. The ships advanced through wind and spray, following dreams far away. The dragon prows cut through the foam, far beyond the lands called home, toward mysteries hidden from sight, beyond the edge of day and night. Storms arrived with fearsome power for many days and many hours. Lightning split the heavens wide as mountains formed upon the tide. Yet none aboard surrendered hope, for northern souls knew how to cope with hardship, danger, rain and cold. Such trials only made them bold. At last a coastline met their eyes, beneath bright unfamiliar skies. Green valleys stretched beyond the sand, untouched by any northern hand. The warriors stepped upon the shore, eager to discover more. Their footprints marked the unknown land, claimed by courage and command. But soon they faced a hostile force, determined to defend its course. The enemy assembled fast, prepared to make the moment last. The Vikings answered shield with shield, refusing ever once to yield, and formed their line beneath the sun, ready for what must be done. The battle thundered through
land and sea. They sat beside a mighty tree and watched the stars begin to glow above the valleys far below, knowing their story now would grow wherever future sailors go. A tale of those who journeyed far beyond the last and furthest star.
Far in the north, where ice winds roam, the warriors call the coastline home. The cliffs stood tall above the waves, watching over generations of braves. Each season brought a different test, yet courage lived within every chest. The sea itself had taught them well to face whatever fate befell. The harbor woke before the sun. Another voyage had begun. The dragon ships were lined in rows, ready to challenge unknown foes. The sails expanded in the breeze as seabirds cried above the seas, and every warrior fixed his gaze upon the distant ocean haze. Through storms that shook the very sky, the fearless fleet continued by. The waves rose high like mountain walls, yet no man's spirit ever falls. Their hands were steady on the oars as thunder echoed from the shores, and every heartbeat matched the drum of battle still to come. A foreign coastline soon appeared, the kind that lesser men had feared. Dense forest stretched beyond the sand, guarding riches of the land. The warriors stepped onto the shore, prepared for hardship and for war. Their shields reflected morning light as they advanced into the fight. Across the valleys they would roam, far from the safety of their home. Through rivers swift and rocky ground, no obstacle could slow them down. The brotherhood remained their guide, their greatest strength, their deepest pride. A bond that neither steel nor flame could ever weaken nor reclaim. The battle came with sudden force, yet none would stray from honor's course. The shield wall moved with perfect grace, determination on each face. The enemy broke before their might, unable to withstand the fight, and victory spread across the land, won by the northern battle band. When evening settled calm and still, they gathered on a silent hill. The stars emerged above the sea like lanterns hung for all to see. And there they sang of days gone by while sparks ascended to the sky. Their voices carried on the breeze across the dark and endless sea. Beyond the edge of northern seas, where cold winds swept through ancient trees, the warriors gathered at first light, prepared to journey, prepared to fight. The harbor echoed with their song, a sound both fearless and strong. The longships waited near the shore, hungry for distant lands and war. Sunlight touched the waves like golden paths for mighty braves. The dragon prows faced open sea, guided by fate and destiny. Each warrior carried dreams untold of glory greater than silver or gold. Their hearts were fixed upon the quest to prove themselves among the best. Way up, days passed beneath the rolling sky, where clouds and seabirds drifted by. The ocean challenged every soul, yet none abandoned the greater goal. The northern spirit burned too bright to vanish in the darkest night. Their courage grew with every mile across the sea, both wild and vile. At last they saw a distant land rising before the battle band. The hills were green, the rivers wide, the promise of conquest stood in sight. The horns rang out across the bay, announcing warriors on their way. The earth itself seemed to awake as destiny began to take shape. The march advanced through field and wood, as every warrior knew he should. The shield wall formed with perfect grace, determination on every face. No fear could pierce their mighty line, forged through hardship over time. Together they became a force impossible to change its course. The battle thundered through the day, a steel and courage led the way. Axes flashed beneath the sun until the final stand was won. The enemy could not withstand the fury of the northern band.
sunlight after endless rain. That evening fires lit the dark, while songs arose from every spark. The scouts preserved each mighty deed for future generations' need. And through the night the warriors smiled like suns returning from the wild, knowing their names would travel far beneath each northern shining star. Crimson sunrise crowned the sea and painted waves majestically. The northern winds began to sing of glory that the day might bring. The warriors stood upon the shore, prepared for destiny and war. Their eyes were fixed beyond the tide, where countless challenges would hide. The horns announced the fleet's advance as dragon ships began their dance across the cold and restless sea toward lands unknown and mystery. The waves crashed hard against the bow, yet still the fleet continued on. For hearts inspired by honor's flame will never turn from fear or shame. The ocean journey tested all, oh strongest man and proudest all. But every challenge made them grow like ancient pines beneath the snow. The stars became their trusted guide, each shining high above the tide, leading onward through the night toward another glorious fight. Upon arrival they could see a mighty force awaiting thee. Rows of shields from end to end prepared their homeland to defend. Yet still the Vikings marched ahead with fearless hearts and lifted heads, determined not to yield or bend, no matter how the day might end. The first collision shook the ground, a roar of steel and thunder sound. The warriors fought with strength and pride, their loyal brothers at each side. No storm could match the force they showed, as deeper through the ranks they strode. Their courage burned like northern fire, driven by purpose and desire. Slowly victory changed the tide, as enemy formations died.
north rose high against the vast victorious sky. The battlefield at last grew still, silent beneath the distant hill, and peace returned where chaos stood, as warriors knew their fight was good. That night beneath celestial light they celebrated through the night. Their songs echoed from shore to shore, telling of triumph and of war. And somewhere high beyond the stars, past all the world's remembered scars, Valhalla welcomed every name who earned immortal warrior fame. The sea was calm before sunrise, reflecting colors in the skies. The cliffs stood proudly near the shore, as they had done forevermore. The northern kingdom woke once more, prepared for peace, prepared for war. Its people strong, its spirit free, united by their history. Young warriors trained upon the field, learning the purpose of a shield. The elders watched with knowing eyes, passing wisdom to the wise. Each lesson carried ancient truth, from seasoned age to eager youth, ensuring strength would always stay within the north from day to day. Messengers arrived at noon, bringing news that came too soon. An army marched from distant lands, gathering countless battle bands. The call was sent through hill and bay, to every warrior far away. And soon the roads were filled once more with those prepared to face the war. The banners gathered near the hall, the largest host among them all. Axes gleam beneath the sun, the preparation now was done. The drums began their steady sound, echoing for miles around. A signal every heart could hear, to cast aside all doubt and fear. The battle met beneath the sky, where ravens circled high and dry. The shield walls crashed with mighty force, each side determined in its course. The struggle lasted through the day, while neither force would fade away, until the northern line surged forth
displaying all its ancient worth.
The enemy at last withdrew, unable to endure the view of warriors standing firm and tall,
like mountains that refuse to fall. The kingdom's banner filled the breeze above the forests and the seas, a symbol all would recognize beneath the ever-changing skies.
That night the celebration grew,
as every horn and drum once knew. The songs of triumph filled the air, with joy enough for all to share. And every child would later know the tale of courage long ago, when northern hearts stood side by side and carried home their kingdom's pride.
Gathered over the bay, the sea grew wild at break of day. The thunder rolled across the deep, awakening hearts from peaceful sleep. The ships were ready near the shore, prepared for battles and for more. The storm itself became our guide as we set sail upon the tide. Struck hard against our skin, yet fire continued burning within. The ocean roared with ancient might, but could not halt our fearless flight. Each wave that crashed against the side only strengthened northern pride. Our eyes remained fixed far ahead, toward paths where legends dared to tread. Across the cliffs the eagles soared, above the lands our fathers explored. The forest stretched beyond our sight, covered beneath the fading light. We marched through valleys carved by time, among the peaks we chose to climb. The northern wind became our song and carried all our hopes along. At sunset by a mountain pass, we watched the final daylight pass. The fires burned against the cold, while skulls recalled the days of old. The young men listened by the flame, dreaming how they too earned fame. And every tale that filled the air awakened courage everywhere. Before the dawn we formed our line, shield beside shield in strong design. The enemy stood far away, prepared to test our strength that day. The silence hung before the fight, a moment frozen in the light. Then horns exploded through the sky, stars held us fast through every challenge that was cast. The mighty clash of steel and will echoed across each valley hill, until the enemy withdrew and victory once more came through. Now songs are carried by the breeze across the seas and through the trees, of warriors born from storm and snow, whose names the future still will know. Their courage shines beyond all years, beyond all victories and fears, for northern hearts forever stand as guardians of their sacred land. The stars were fading one by one before the rising of the sun. The fjord reflected morning gold, like stories waiting to be told. The warriors gathered near the bay, prepared to sail at break of day toward lands beyond the ocean foam, far from the safety of their home. The raven circled overhead, above the path the fleet would tread. Their dark wings crossed the growing light, vanishing slowly from sight. The sailors watched them disappear and felt a strange excitement near, as if Valhalla's halls above had sent a sign of strength and love. The sea stretched endlessly ahead toward places known by few instead. The dragon ships advanced with grace across the ocean's vast embrace. The northern winds filled every sail and pushed them through the mighty gale, while songs rose from the rowing line, keeping their spirits intertwined. Days later, battle waited there upon a plain both wide and bare. The enemy had formed its ranks with sharpened spears and armored flanks, yet every Viking calmly stood as only seasoned warriors could, their courage rooted deep within, a strength no foe could hope to erupted fierce and grand, shaking the earth across the land. Steel rang loudly through the air, while banners streamed everywhere. The shield wall moved with measured force, advancing on its chosen course, until the enemy line broke and disappeared within the smoke. Their voices high beneath the clear, victorious sky. Their triumph echoed
far away. Across the land they crossed that day, and many swore they seemed to hear ancient voices drawing near, the echoes of Valhalla's hall, answering the warrior's call. As evening settled, soft and calm, peace replaced the battle storm. The stars returned above the sea, shining over history. And every tale that would be told of courage, strength, and hearts of gold would carry through the passing years the echoes of Valhalla near.
The years had passed like winter snow, yet still the ancient stories grow of warriors who crossed the sea in search of fame and destiny. Their hair now touched with shades of gray, but strength remained in every way. For courage does not fade with age, it only deepens page by page. The great hall stood against the night, its windows shining warm and bright. Inside the fires burned high and clear, welcoming every warrior near. The tables stretched from wall to wall, prepared to host them one and all. A feast unlike the ones before, to honor battles, peace and war. The scout arose and raised his voice, inviting every guest to rejoice. He sang of voyages long ago, across the sea and through the snow, of shield walls firm and banners proud, of battle cries both fierce and loud, of victories won through sacrifice, and hearts as hard as northern nights. Listen silently, remembering their history. Each scar became a memory, each memory a legacy. The younger men sat close to hear the tales they held forever dear. learning how greatness had been earned through every lesson bravely learned. Outside, the stars adorn the sky like watchful eyes from far on high. The wind moved softly through the tree and drifted gently from the sea. The world seemed peaceful for a while as laughter traveled mile by mile across the valleys of the north, where countless legends had come forth. The cups were raised one final time, accompanied by song and rhyme, to absent friends and fallen kin, whose spirits still remained within the hearts of all who shared the hall and answered duty's ancient call. Their memories stronger than the years, beyond all distance, beyond all fears.
Far beyond the fjords of home, where only daring hearts would roam, the endless sea stretched far and wide, a kingdom ruled by wind and tide. Its waters call to northern men, again and yet again, inviting them to seek new lands beyond the reach of known commands. The long ships sail through golden dawn, across horizons vast and drawn. The oars moved with relentless pace as seabirds cross the open space. The dragon heads cut through the foam, far from every familiar home, toward places whispered of in song, where only brave hearts could belong. Every soul with storms that challenge self-control. Waves towered high above the mast, and freezing rain arrived so fast. Yet every sailor held his place with determination on his face, for hardship was a trusted guide of those who sailed the northern tide. Later, land appeared ahead, where countless hopes and dreams were led. Green valleys stretched beneath the sky as distant rivers wandered by. The warriors landed on the shore, prepared for battle and much more, to carve their story in the earth and prove their everlasting worth. Soon war drums echoed through the plain like thunder before heavy rain. The enemy assembled near, attempting to awaken fear. Yet every Viking calmly stood, as northern warriors always would, their confidence a blazing fire, fueled by honor and desire. struggle fierce across the time. The shield wall pushed relentlessly. With strength and unity, the enemy ranks slowly fell before the force they knew too well. And victory belonged once more to those who came from northern shore. That night the sea breeze crossed the land and touched the victorious band. The stars shone bright above the bay like guardians at the end of day. And every song that filled the air spoke of courage beyond compare. The sons of the endless sea would be remembered through eternity. The dawn arrived with crimson flame, a sign that destiny soon came. The mountain stood in solemn grace, watching over every place. The northern kingdom woke once more to answer duty, peace and war. Its warriors gathered strong and proud beneath the sky and drifting cloud. The blacksmith's forge burned through the night, creating weapons for the fight. The hammer rang with steady sound, echoing for miles around. Each strike shaped steel, both hard and true, for deeds that future songs would view as moments worthy to endure within the legends of the pure. The call to arms spread far and near across each fjord throughout the year. From distant valleys warriors came, drawn together by their name. Their banners fluttered in the wind as preparations now began. The roads were filled from shore to hill, with hearts united by one will. The army marched through forest shade, along old paths their fathers made. The sunlight danced through ancient pines, across forgotten borderlines. Each warrior carried hopes and dreams, along with sharpened axe blades gleaming, toward a field where fate would choose who would triumph, who would lose. The enemy appeared in force, confident within their course. Their ranks stretched wide across the land, prepared to meet the northern band. Yet when the shield wall formed as one, it shone beneath the midday sun, a sight that made the bravest stare with sudden caution and respect there. thundered loud and long, like a storm both fierce and strong. The hammer of the north came down upon the field and through the town. The enemy could not withstand the strength of that united band, and slowly gave the ground away before the end of day. The victory feast lasted through the night, filled with laughter, song, and light. The scouts recounted every deed, every charge and every need, and all who listened understood that courage joined with brotherhood would always be the greatest force upon the North's unyielding course.
The iron coast stood dark and wild, untouched for ages, fierce and untamed. The breakers crashed against the stone, a sound as old as time alone. Above the cliffs the ravens flew, across the sky both cold and blue, while warriors watched the distant sea, awaiting fate and destiny. The harbor stood before the dawn, long before the stars had gone. The dragon ships were lined in rows, prepared to challenge northern foes. The sails were raised against the gale, the crews assembled strong and hale, and every heartbeat matched the drum of battles waiting yet to come. The fleet advanced through mist and spray, beneath a sky of steel grey. The sea rose high with restless might, yet none was shaken by the sight. For every man aboard had known the fury oceans often show, and every storm they overcame only strengthened their great name. At last a rugged shore appeared, a coastline many sailors feared. The forest stretched beyond the sand, guarding secrets of the land. The warriors landed one by one, their long-awaited march begun. The northern banners caught the breeze, like dark wings gliding through the trees. The enemy emerged at noon, their ranks assembled all too soon. Yet calm remained among the brave, who crossed the sea on restless waves. The shield wall formed both tight and wide, with loyal brothers side by side, a living fortress
fierce beneath the sky, where eagles watched from high nearby. Axes sang and shields replied, as battle surged like ocean tide. Yet still the northern line moved on, until resistance finally was gone, and victory stood clear and bright before the fall of night. The feast fires burned beside the bay, as songs remembered all that day. The stars reflected in the sea, like lanterns hung eternally, and every voice joined in refrain to honor those who bore the strain. The wolves of the Iron Coast would be remembered through eternity.